Thank you for viewing this presentation on cultural trends in education for the American College of Education. The first trend is keeping the arts in schools. It is well known that when budget cuts happen, the arts go first. Despite this, partnerships are forming to keep the arts programs alive. School Community Arts Partnership stakeholders collaborate because of shared missions to provide students with valuable arts learning experiences. This provides yet another outlet for students to feel included and have a sense of belonging. What recurrently appears is in successful partnerships is a transparency with initiative operations provides regular effective communication and effectively resolves competing priorities. Another cultural trend is online learning. Due to the current pandemic, traditional high-stakes testing has been suspended, state testing and SAT, ACT testing in most locations. This causes a consideration of the merit of the way any exams were administered before and if they had any meaningful outcome for students. With a push for more personalized learning plans, can online achieve this more easily? Consider the benefit when there is automatic grading with automatic feedback and adaptive tests. We must transcend beyond multiple choice exams. Do they really demonstrate true mastery? It is far from enough to simply digitize textbooks, tests, and assessment tools. China, compared to the US, uses one exam to determine entry into prestige high schools and colleges, whereas other factors are weighed for college admissions here in the United States. Things such as extracurricular activities, class rank, essays, SAT scores, GPA, volunteerism, and so forth. Maslow's hierarchy of need comes readily to mind. If your basic needs are not met, how are you to transcend the current state and become a better version of yourself if fear and other basic needs are unmet? Students need a genuine feeling of belonging in a school and that they are valued. School climate is the norm. Expectation and values of a building and all the members within. Surveying all stakeholders regularly is key, seeing drastically different perceptions of a student based on the results of student, staff, parents, and administrators, and adjusting accordingly. The Pygmalion effect applies. A high opinion of students will yield results and vice versa. School counselors need to be the eyes and ears of the school, notice disparities and vocalize them. They can ID strong programs to keep or weak ones to part with. In a successful model, students are given the opportunity to identify issues and offer solutions. Imagine a school as a series of community-connected projects and skill sprints that develop leadership, collaboration, and problem-solving skills. To engage the learner, use of personalized and project-based learning is nothing new. It's just becoming more common. Small group work is utilized, but done with intention, not that the whole class does the exact same task. The intent is open-ended challenges to generate learner choice and voice. This enhances student retention of information. The goal is to tie it in with real-life application, connect with real local industry and business, and work as a true community. This trend zeroes in on the culture of the student, their preferred learning style, and their needs. We must note inherent barriers. I have a coworker who would oftentimes say that poverty is the issue. And there are also stubborn teachers who would say, I teach the same way as I did 20 years ago, and it still works for most of my students, just not all. And then other mindsets such as students just don't care anymore. Instead of fixating on barriers, acknowledging the cultural assets, instead, within our historically underserved student population will benefit them greatly. Educators choose to believe in their capacity to effectively educate all students, irrespective of their race, ethnicity, gender, socioeconomic status, sexual identity, special needs, or faith communities. A transformation from cultural destructiveness, the elimination of other culture and forced assimilation, to the cultural proficiency of inclusion, striving to continually know the minority culture, working on knowing some of their language and traditions. When education is offered in a culturally proficient manner, historically underserved students gain access to education opportunities intended to result in high academic achievement. Educators must have authentic conversations to be inclusive of all members of the educational institution. If the outcomes are as bright as the authors make it seem, the benefit is immense. However, resistant staff members will have to be able to embrace the change, and this may prove difficult. To successfully implement such trends, it must be symbiotic, mutually beneficial for all members. A committee must be made up of members of each entity, parents, staff, and the community of Greeley that should meet regularly if it is to succeed. Compiling all the trends together, the benefit of trying a new trend is establishing a baseline, determining if the trend is helping, and monitoring after implementation. The greatest challenge would be with any trend is staff buy-in and encouraging them to present a unified front when in the presence of the students. A current issue our school has had with mask wearing and some staff members vocalizing their doubts of the need. Like energy, the potential for change is there, waiting to be activated. My old school was a classical school and resisted technology, a luxury it can no longer afford. It did have a vibrant arts program and dedicated staff to see it be successful. As a small school, safety was not a significant challenge, though cultural proficiency was mostly absent. Group work seldom happened and was much more teacher-led. The current school, Northridge, I work in, is beginning to work on its cultural proficiency, improve safety methods, but the arts program is struggling to survive. The school is trying to marry the online and collaborative nature of these trends together. Whether still at the same school or elsewhere, we can always improve our cultural proficiency, improve how we use technology, and work harder to connect with students and make them feel a sense of belonging and worth. Thank you for your time, and here are the references. If you enjoyed this and watched this on YouTube, feel free to like. Thanks.